Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have one final series here for you today, and it is going to be yet another Zerg vs. Zerg. What's up? My name is Fear Dragon. I'm joined by Zombie Grub. Camera switch. Boom. What's up?
Wow, you're really like being in control right now. Can you do the thing when like the graphic pops up where you do this thing?
You know, we'll handle some of those later. We do have one graphic for you here today as we go review all the games that have been happening.
I feel
You said someone had to be in control.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. You're doing, I mean, he's really this enthusiastic about NA and ZvZ, so you're nailing it.
Okay, well, you guys can see that, of course, True was able to do quite well for himself, winning that first series, winning the winner's match, and now we have the decider match, the final match. And who will win here, Zombie Grub? Who?
You know what? I really believe in the group curse for this challenger so far this season. I feel like every time we brought it up, it has happened, and JonSnow is going to adapt, overcome, learn from True how to beat Kane.
Okay,
There you go.
Okay, I can feel that, and at the same time, I feel like I give a little bit of favoritism to JonSnow, also.
Why are we talking like William Shatner?
You know what? You made the In Control reference, and then that committed me to talking. I think, you know, there was a point in time where I was working on an In Control impression.
Really? Was it you like
bit.
go in front of the mirror and you're just like, this is how In Control talks?
You know, to your point, Zombie Grub, I think that this can go.
No, he's
well.
usually like more in the back, you know, like you
Is
guys
he
you can't see him, but like Ravi's like forward
Actually,
facing onto the desk
So
right
here's
now.
the thing: you're always in the green room when Jeff and I are both on the desk together. But when I say something stupid, hold on.
Yes.
When I say something stupid, he doesn't just sit there. He will actually do the like. And this is the best part. You guys don't. You guys don't see this. So just Zombie Grub will see. We'll do it again later. But he'll go like.
No, I know that one. So
He'll
like
just
whenever he judges you, he moves
my
his
God.
body forward and towards you.
Just completely contorts his body.
Whenever he judges the world or a situation, it's like back. You guys need to pay attention more. Get back in the green room.
But if you weren't paying attention,
Do legal means.
then you will know that this guy down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map is the red Zerg player. He is Kane.
Can we revisit this topic when we're on camera?
Yeah, of course.
Ah.
We're gonna be like, okay, guys, and that was a great day of WCS Challenger. But before we go,
Here we go. Here's the method. Here's the movements. In the top right, as the blue Zerg, he is JonSnow. I feel like there's like a workout here where you're like, your hips are really loose. Like do the In Control.
actually, yeah, In Control does the hip movement thing.
He
a lot.
does, that's true.
He's
Yeah.
casting. He's just like moving his hips back,
Yeah.
like swaying from side to side in like large motions.
Did you ever watch the Mario movie? Mario Bros.
Yes,
movie?
yes.
You know the Goombas, how they go like left and right. Oh,
The only thing I can imagine when I think of the Goombas is like when they're in the elevator with
yeah,
the
exactly.
Goombas.
And they start making them dance, and so it's like left to right, and it's very methodical. Yeah, perfect. This is how we're gonna end the cast. It's actually a normal ZvZ right now, so that's why we can do this.
Will the casters please talk about the games for once?
Oh, you and Nate already did this,
I know.
and then at some point you said Zombie Girl would never put up with this, and I wasn't paying attention, and I was like, I don't know what I wouldn't put up with. So.
But he was probably right.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some memes. There's been.
I think I was making dad jokes. That's why. That's what I said.
Oh, you're right. Like I'm not on board with that.
Yeah.
Because they're never very good. I feel like I can give like a nice respectful nod and a clap.
This is why I say Zombie Girl bullies me more than In Control.
You.
Because like, Jeff will just say things that like make me question like random things that I do, and you hit me where it hurts. Okay.
I know you so well.
I think my dad jokes are pretty good.
No, I don't know
I'm
about
pretty
that.
proud of them.
Bailiness for both players and third hatchery. So to recap the last time these guys played, in case you weren't watching, like an hour and a half ago, because it's all CVZ today. It was first game, a bit of trickery. Kane went for a kind of fake roach plan and actually went to Ling Muta, which we might see in this best of 3 here too, because it seems like he does actually very well with Lings and Mutas in any circumstance he has. But then the next game that JonSnow also lost on this map was a very standard ZvZ that went into roaches. And a bit of mutas, but mostly roaches. So we see another standard ZvZ as far as, 3 bays, some Zerglings, yes, from JonSnow, that are scouted out. So Kane should be responding.
And JonSnow did see that there were a lot of Lings also popping out, and he is also, loses one of the Banelings very early on, almost loses the second one. Oh, barely keeps it alive, but I mean, how durable is it gonna be?
Yeah.
Not very.
Yeah, there you go. Behind this, JonSnow is making 10 drones to overcome Kane's drone count, actually. He's gonna grab 2 queens, and let's look really dire for a second, but there's no way the game ends. Kane he's falling back on his heels. This is not a great start for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's just being down to 1 queen. Even if you have your third, I mean, JonSnow has a third and he has 3 queens. Kane is sitting here in a pretty awkward spot. Now, he doesn't really have the drone lead either anymore. He does have a small army supply lead, but that's really going to be compensated for JonSnow with the defender's advantage.
Should be, yeah. But you got to try and do something with your Lings, and if they undermake Banelings, that is your chance to get some revenge. But JonSnow is not only defending with a lot of Lings, a lot of Banelings, he's also making his way onto the Roaches, onto Evolution Chamber. He had a significant upgrade problem last time they played on this map. That should not be the case here, as long as he can hold against the Banelings, which so far is going pretty well.
Yeah, already sniping off 2 of them. There were some Lings looking to go over to the third base, but wow, Kane loses all of the Banelings already. The Lings not going to find an opportunity to move in either.
Now, Kane is getting a bit faster on that lair, so he's going to have faster roach speed, but sometimes that doesn't actually do very much if the person's not attacking. JonSnow should be, as soon as he gets 100 gas, actually, should be right behind him. He's going to hide 2 Lings. I don't think Kane saw.
Oh, Kane did not spot those out. He was a bit too busy with his own Lings, microing them around, and those Banelings are going to be finishing up and rolling straight into that mineral line. Kane might not, if he's still continuing to be aggressive, he might not even be aware when those Banelings run in.
This could be bad. I mean, maybe at max he gets 8 drones unless he accidentally pulls into the Banelings. That's still significant though, as you see the Banelings come forward. He's not responding, so 6 drones.
6 drones is honestly pretty bad. It's not as bad as it is earlier on in the game, but this is still pretty bad, right?
Well, we actually still have Kane up 6 workers, so that's where you kind of have to, like, okay, it's kind of mitigated, right?
Oh, you made the mistake of saying that someone was up in workers as drones were still being made. So
Did I?
One worker is, whenever there's drones still in production in ZvZ, I always just wait because every single time it'll be like, well now this player's ahead 3 drones, now the other player's ahead 4 drones.
Usually I'm very on top of that, but I think that Kane did have that worker lead for the entire minute up until just now.
Okay.
Which they are now matching, 65 to 65.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Get that income graph up here. Prove me wrong.
Aha!
There's a spike because he pulled his drones.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right. Well, we do have 4th base coming down here for Kane. JonSnow doing a similar-esque thing. But as you said, lairs are now going to be finished up. They're both getting up those roach speed upgrades, and we're going into those roach versus roach wars. And I feel like this is the most normal, even-ish looking game in terms of heading into those roach wars compared to the other series that they played earlier today, where there was always like some aspect of mutas or something else weird involved.
Well, the biggest thing on this game, on this map, the last time they played was the upgrade. Yeah, JonSnow went for a Spire that did okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. It was kind of a regular ZvZ Spire. It was the upgrade difference. He was entirely behind the Carapace, and he was like 30 seconds behind the +1, +2. So that was a huge difference. It doesn't, exists. That's a hard word. So much here today, as that +1 is at least finishing up, and he is getting a second evolution chamber. But there might be an opportunity for Kane to use his upgrade advantage once again.
All right, neither of these players actually saturating, or at least Kane is not saturating his 4th base, which is a little bit surprised. He does have the workers for it, I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah, I think so. I feel like it's been a while. Maybe it's NA Zergs, or maybe it's just, maybe it's developing meta, but it used to be that ZvZ would, you had your Ling Banling phase, but then you went to like the Roach phase around 55 drones for so long. So when I see, like, I think all of today, if they got to this point, it's been up to like the 60s and 70s workers. And I'm like, oh.
This is definitely higher worker counts than I'm used to. Even if it's even just like 60 workers I'm more used to, over 70 or 71.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there, so. But anyways, 2-1 on the way for both parties. Hydralisk and faster for Kane. Looks like we missed a Baneling run by. They didn't actually kill the drones.
Okay, well, JonSnow, I still just feel like he's getting a lot better mining for his workers right now, just because he actually has workers over his 4th, and Kane is finally starting to make a few and send them over there, but there it is. Lurker Den on the way here for Kane, and this is, I feel like this has just been a common trend today where JonSnow is sticking around on Roach Ravager, not building a Hydra Den, not getting into, definitely not Lurker Den or anything, and I feel like it's really caused a lot of problems for him.
He should do something with Lair, you know, like besides just get upgrades. But talk about that in a second as we have a few things going on. Army fight looks like they're just going to escape from each other, but Kane did sneak roaches in the main base, and they seem like come out of nowhere. And they're getting quite a few drones. They're evening up that drone count and actually letting Kane get ahead a little bit. And Kane is now, he's got that upgrade lead. He's going to have the 2 attack upgrade lead for like a second or 2. Oh, okay, ditto for JonSnow. He's grabbing at least a few drones in return.
Yeah, getting something done there. And he's also keeping Kane from pushing into that third base. But I still feel like if things just trade out evenly, I still like the situation for Kane. But hey, JonSnow's got another 4 roaches getting some damage done. The army engagement is going to be critical here as Ravager is getting some really juicy connections off for both sides. But JonSnow, I think he's going to have more.
I mean, we didn't quite see the beginning of that fight, but clearly Kane was the one that had to fit his way through that choke, and that just seems like he had to be very confident, and all he had was that 1 upgrade lead. He never had 2 upgrades, and now, as I speak, both upgrades, all upgrades are complete, finalized for both parties, and Kane just lost a significant amount of army supply. He's trying to remake with a couple of more expensive Hydras, which just really won't work out. Where JonSnow, he had that better mining, he has more workers now, and he has a ton more army supply.
Yeah, no opportunity to really make use of things like the Lurker tech, but here we go. This is Kane's big defensive move, but he's still down 42 army supply. JonSnow, a lot of his roaches might be a little bit softened up here. That is probably the only really big saving grace here because he's still actually killing off a bunch of the drones here for Kane.
JonSnow really just, I mean, looked like a different player from that first series of the day. I guess he had to get warmed up for ZvZ, but now he's looking to take this first game.
And in the lobby chat, he was saying, you know, it's not illegal if my sister was playing that first series, because now I'm ready to play versus you, Kane.
Well, I mean, it's certainly looking like a big difference. I don't know if it's that big of a difference. JonSnow is with that just astounding lead, 40 army supply above, even upgrades, going to get the 4th base. And while Kane isn't really going to, not ready to tap out yet, it is, unless he has Lurker somewhere, I don't believe in the comeback.
Yeah, it's not looking super likely right now, as JonSnow is just going to step his way forward with the roaches, dive on top of Kane's entire army, and from there, there's not really a whole lot left. I mean, he could just even snipe off the roach horn, and that will just seal the deal. Yeah, there it is. GG.
GG.
JonSnow takes the first one.
Yeah, that was a very convincing standard ZvZ, but it was almost off the back of Kane messing up. Almost entirely. I don't want to say that, 100% it was just Kane. He was in like a fine position. He was, I guess, a little behind. The economy was like a little worse for him. He was taking damage from the roaches while, before the attack happened. But then it was that attack where he just plummeted an army supply. And the only reason I think that he did it was that, well, one, he already beat JonSnow 2-0, so maybe a little bit of overconfidence. But then also that he thought there was going to be a better upgrade lead than there was.
Yeah, but I still am not a huge fan of it just because it felt, like you said, very forced in a situation where you have big tech coming and you're going to be able to capitalize on it. That's why I wasn't a big fan of that big attack.
I agree. Also, I think maybe it was because the Ravagers on the front lines. Because I think all those things combined, and that would have looked like anyone would have taken that fight. But obviously it turned the way that it did. Because I think Kane is, he's obviously proven himself as a very competent Zerg player. He's not just here because he used to be good. Like, he's clearly good right now. So it had to be some big trigger.
Do you feel like it was maybe also the fact that there was the 4 roaches in the main base and the 4 roaches at his third that were doing a lot of damage, and he felt like he was losing too many drones?
Yeah, I guess so. And he didn't know his Lurker Den was that much faster. So it was like, you're right. Maybe, it was all those things combined, obviously. But that was the crucial mistake, the biggest mistake. But that was just a regular ZvZ. So does Kane go back to some shenanigans?
Well, only time will tell. As we do hop into Acid Plant for game number 2. That's like the tried and true phrase I can just use. Like, oh, well, that's a great question, Simon. Time will tell. I don't have to make a judgment about
this. I'm surprised there was critique about lazy narratives, and there was just no critique as of yet about laser casterisms. Lazy casterism.
That is a pretty lazy casterism.
Lasers and stuff. It's my favorite casterism from like 2010, which was the Colossus and lasers.
Oh man, that's one of my favorite. I still don't remember who made it. If it was USA Starcraft.
Thank you for calling by his proper title, by the way.
I need to actually read out the proper. Do you know how many USAs there are? No. Neither do I. Spawning up here on the top left-hand corner of the map, we have our red Zerg player. It is Kane.
In the bottom right, up 1, it is the blue Zerg, JonSnow.
You know, I used to have a theory that JonSnow wins more games when he spawns on the north side than he does on the south.
Oh gosh. Well, I can't wait for you to collect that data.
Because he's the king of the north, Zombie Grub.
Oh, dang it. Well, Kane's from the north. Kane's Canadian. So does he get like +10 bonus to being in the north?
What?
Kane's Canadian, right?
Yeah.
So he's in the north. He's almost guaranteed.
It's
to be
all
more
relative,
north.
Zombie Grub.
Fine,
Okay.
fine.
It's all relative.
You know, I'm gonna ask you this question, even though I don't know, and I guess general Zerg players can at me. I'm actually inviting it, but
Don't at me.
no, actually do at me. Kane always goes for a 16 hatch instead of 17 hatch. Every time.
I wouldn't.
not sure
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
I'm telling you, he does.
Okay. Okay.
I'm wondering.
Whoa, where was the question?
I was like, well, my question, I guess, was why.
Oh, why?
That's why I said at me. I mean, usually you'd see this in like, you know, versus a Protoss, right? To like deny a cannon or a pylon block, but I don't really do it versus ZvZ.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe it helps out if there's a 12 pool, no gas, then you have a little bit more time because the hatchery doesn't take as much damage or something. I'm not sure.
How that would work?
Like if the health would be a little bit higher.
Well, to be honest, like the real reason I'm bringing this up, other than make us look stupid for a second, stupid Terran Protoss casters, is that there actually are some Zerg players who will go for like a 15-15, 14, or something along those lines. You know, like
14-14. Have you seen?
It wasn't quite
Have you seen
14,
True's 12-11-10?
No. No, but I'm sure it exists. No, but like Xanster, I think it did this versus Protoss. And like, anyways, like sometimes it does mean something more than just like, oh, it's, you know, it's a style thing. But Kane has been playing nothing but standard games from it, so it was more just an idling question for the ZvZ experts out there to get at me. As we do have, again, like normal hatcheries coming down.
Third base is already coming down, so both these players get into a nice spot. There's only 4 lings out for either side, so nothing super crazy is going to happen like we saw in an earlier ZvZ where 6 lings beats 4 lings and kills a third. That was a little silly when that happened, but we do have Kane adding on 6 more lings a little bit faster than JonSnow, who's just focusing on some of those drones. And I mean, I see the Baneling nest coming down for JonSnow. I don't see one for Kane.
No, he's just gonna go like, I mean, this is really dedicated. A lot of lings off of 24 workers.
Ooh.
JonSnow, though, his Baneling nest was really not that badly timed, and he's gonna get an Overlord kill, so Kane can only use these lings right now. I guess he's gonna get some supply with the hatchery.
Yeah, I mean, this is still going to be a little bit rough for him, though, because the reinforcements are not going to be there. But not only that, even if he wanted to transition out, he can't even drone right now. He has to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good point, because a lot of the time it is just about that like faux pressure.
Okay, now he's starting to add on some drones, but it does just slow things down a little bit. There are those Banelings being made, but JonSnow just slightly out of position, and the Queens are going to be very out of position to help defend.
Oh, there's a Queen in the main, you're right. Oh, really nice block with the lings on the ramp. So I was going to say, like, this probably won't add up to much, and it doesn't really add up to much. He's going to barely win. JonSnow, no. JonSnow, no. What are you doing? The lings? Yeah, okay. Well, he still only loses 2 drones, but a lot more mining time than I thought he would. Anyways, yeah, those lings weren't really destined to do very much in the main with the lings of JonSnow hot on their tail. And now Kane has to worry about the counterattack, where his banelings aren't quite ready to go. He has 2, and he's making 2 more, so that should be enough to defend his third base.
Okay, JonSnow gonna try and poke away. Might be able to snipe off a drone there, but we want to keep an eye on those Banelings. Oh, good trades there for Kane, 3 for 2.
Yeah, that was better for him.
Whiffed onto the Baneling. If he was hoping to try and soften up these Banelings so that his lings could try and take him on, at the same time, JonSnow taking a lot of damage on the other side of the map. One of the Queens does not have enough energy for a chance to use her companion falls, and looks like Kane even going to be able to get into the main base. Really? Wow.
Yeah, once again. I mean, this point is just annoying having to keep tabs on the lings that go into the main base, right?
Yeah.
In case something else is happening out in the map, and they're trying to keep track of how many lings are popping out with their overlords, where they're coming from, all that type of stuff. JonSnow is going to go for a rush for it. Oh, nice.
7 drones killed off. That is the kind of victory that JonSnow needed.
Yeah, actually, well, I mean, he was already a bit ahead on drones, and he was just feeling a little bit of pressure, but then to be more ahead, lots of low workers do not end up dying. Very, very close, though. Kane has his own attack off to the right side, but no Banelings involved here, so JonSnow, with almost equal number of lings, should be able to take care of this and still keep that 9-drone lead.
Is it equal number of links? I think.
I said almost equal.
Okay.
It was almost
Good
right.
save. All right. Kane gonna get forced back though. He's gonna make a lot of banelings actually over here, getting ready to get continued aggression going. As he also has some banelings. Okay, that's a pretty good connection. Good trade there.
Well, Kane is supply blocked, and that's really awkward because I noticed Kane not going for a +1, and he's not going for a lair. So if he's gonna go for an all-in from here, this is actually really close. Even if he gets the workers though, as long as never mind, JonSnow is remaking them. So that's the real trick here. Kane is making a lot of army, and even though it was delayed because of a supply block, JonSnow is not oh god, there's so many weak drones. He's not realizing this is on the way. He doesn't have any scouting to tell him this is on the way. And if he's just gonna over-drone, even, regardless if he loses these or not, if he's gonna over-drone, go up to those like 65, 70 we were talking about last game, he'll just lose.
That's a little bit of a danger zone there right now, Zombie Grub. The Overlord should be spotting all of these units flooding across the map, and because of that, he's making his own roaches. He's trying to get up some sort of defenses. He's even trying to get some of the creep spread to join between the two bases, but this is a rough spot.
Yeah, this is really awkward. JonSnow remaking the drones, making more than enough drones. He really should have stopped at 55, 52. Some Bane's gonna get some connections, and yeah, he's ready to lose maybe even 20 workers to hold here, but is that gonna be enough?
Oh man, I would love if he'd even just throw down a couple of spike calls. Hey, he takes care of most of the banelings though, and with the banelings gone, the drones actually, if they get pulled, can be a little bit more useful, and even just soaking up some of the roach hits.
This is actually really bad for Kane. Kane was supply blocked when he was supposed to really have a faster attack here with a lot more roaches, and if he doesn't get the third base, which maybe he's getting a little bit greedy instead of just sniping that off.
Well, it might still work out. There's some transfuses keeping these queens alive a little bit longer, but the roaches for JonSnow popping out at that third are critical for him.
Yeah, I mean, now Kane's just going to try and snipe a few more drones and even that up, but he'll always be behind in that +1. He'll always be behind in the roach speed. Well, I guess until maybe it'll complete for him, but he's definitely going to be behind for a long time.
And JonSnow is up. He's doubling the army supply right now of Kane, so this attack is gone. It didn't work.
It didn't, no. And I mean, I hate to harp on it, right? Because Kane's already probably hitting himself on the head for it, but that was the worst time he supply blocked. Those roaches are very heavy supply units, right? So you need to already have that like big buffer for it. And if it was 15 seconds faster, I think there might have been the snowball effect. Instead, it was the opposite. JonSnow was able to get enough out on his reinforcements to snowball.
JonSnow says, oh, Kane, were you trying to catch up in drones? Nah, that's not the way it works. You need to make more units right now. You don't get a chance to drone up like I did. Spire even being added on. How do you feel about this one? I can tell that you don't approve.
Oh no, I was actually grimacing at Kane's other supply block.
Oh no.
Yeah, I just feel like you're really bad. I'm just like pointing out all those mistakes.
Okay.
But no, the Spire is one of those moves though that like 200, 200, and then you bank 700, 700. Let's say it could lose you the game if Kane was in a position to go for a follow-up all-in. But I mean, Kane could actually, if he just makes nothing but units right now, and can still hit with +1 and roach speed as you just pop. Maybe.
I mean, it's relatively even roach counts, and JonSnow still needs to save up some gas to actually get up mutas.
The thing is that if he doesn't, let's say he just lets Aspire finish, but he realizes he might be under threat and he just makes something but roaches, I think he's fine. But if he does save up for those mutas, well, then that could be a different story.
Yeah, a lot more roaches over here for Kane, and JonSnow is just keeping an eye on fourth bases. I don't hate it if JonSnow just tries to keep Kane at home while he gets up the mutas and just says, okay, look, my roaches are constantly dancing back and forth. Maybe you lose 2, 3 roaches here or there, but as long as you don't fall too far behind.
So Kane has this, he temporarily had an army supply lead, but he does go back into drones, and even if he didn't go back into drones, I don't think it would be enough to actually win the game with advantage advantage, and now the mutas are going to be out, so that timing's gone anyways, and now we got to talk about the ways that Kane can just like continue to scrap things out. But he's going to be going up against a better army supply with mutas that can track down the roaches, so he's just going to try and get out of there.
He's turning around with the roaches.
Is he contaminated on this roach speed? I think so.
Oh, yeah, wow. Well done.
Yeah.
That bottom up, there it is. Kane taps out, and JonSnow is going to be your second player to advance out of the group of Zergs. 2 Psystorm players.
Group curse.
Group curse? I was with you on that. I told you that I thought JonSnow was
but I said it first, so it's like, to give me the internet points.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that does mean that we have our 2 players, our 2 Zergs that advance out from today, and we also know our European players that have advanced out. So we got one final group left for tomorrow to find out who our last 2 Europeans and North Americans that will make it to the playoffs are going to be. They'll play in 1 week's time. Take a look at how things shaped out. Did it roughly pan out kind of how you thought, Zombie Guy? What surprises or anything?
Well, Kane surprised me how good he was, basically, how solid he was. So then for him to eventually lose out, that is surprising. But if I were to just like look at this, you know, from the get-go, beginning of the day, I would have said JonSnow and True. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm pretty much with you on that. And of course, as mentioned before, we do know our 2 players that advanced out. It is going to be, of course, True and JonSnow, and they are going to be joining the ranks of all the other North American players who have already made it out of their group. We got Neeb, Antis, we have Scarlet, Puck. Look, cameras are inverted, okay? It's hard, okay? It's really hard.
Okay.
But yeah, they're going to be joining, of course, those fellow players
Yes.
and 2 last players that will make it out for tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. It was actually a really cool story with those players, but instead I want to make fun of you.
I know. Because, you know, Zombie Grub just can't keep her eye on the game. She has to make everything about us instead. Can the commentators please stop talking about themselves and talk about the Europeans that made it out, of course, from WCS Challenger as well.
And
Yeah. Whoa. Oh, look at this. Beautiful. We got a Laser, Namshar, Cyril, Euthermal, Hero Marine, Mana, and again, 2 more players will make it out tomorrow. And of course, all those players are going to be playing in a single elimination bracket.
Yeah.
For the playoffs next week.
yeah, I'm very excited, very jealous you guys are going to be casting that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. You already got all the ZvZs taken out.
We'll have commentators that talk about the games instead of themselves, like In Control. But yeah, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure and absolute delight to have you guys here. We're going to be back tomorrow at exactly the same time at 6 a.m. Pacific. And I don't know what time it is in Europe, but that's going to be the European group. 7 a.m. 7 a.m. 6 a.m. is our call time.
Yeah.
Whoops, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern in Europe. Google it.
Something, I don't know.
Something like that. We'll see you guys tomorrow.